Let's kick things off with a truth that hits like a freight train. Respect isn't something you can beg for, demand, or fake your way into. It's earned, carved out through the choices you make every single day. Welcome to ZENLIGHT 8, where we dive deep into the art of living with purpose, rooted in the timeless wisdom of Stoicism and the raw, practical tools of self-improvement. Today, we're starting a journey to uncover 5 habits that are silently killing your respect, and how to break free from them to become the person others can't help but admire. Stick with me to the end, because I'm going to share real, actionable steps you can apply right now to transform how the world sees you and how you see yourself. Let's face it, in a world obsessed with instant gratification, where everyone's chasing likes, followers, and validation, it's easy to fall into traps that erode your worth. But the Stoics, those ancient philosophers who mastered the art of living well, taught us that true respect starts within. It's not about what others think of you. It's about who you choose to be when no one's watching. So, grab a coffee, settle in, and let's get real about the first habit that's holding you back: making excuses. This one's a silent assassin, and by the time we're done, you'll have the tools to slay it for good and start commanding the respect you deserve. Picture this. You're running late for a meeting. The clock's ticking, your phone's buzzing, and you're stuck in traffic on the I-95, cursing every red light. You finally roll in 15 minutes late, and what's the first thing out of your mouth? Sorry, traffic was a nightmare. Sounds familiar, right? I've been there. Years ago, I was that guy, always armed with a reason why I couldn't show up on time, why I missed a deadline, why I let someone down. I thought my excuses were airtight. The car broke down, the Wi-Fi crashed, my dog ate my presentation. But here's the brutal truth, the kind the Stoics would hammer into your soul. Nobody cares about your excuses. Not your boss, not your friends, not even your mom after the 100th time. People don't respect your reasons, they respect your results. Excuses are like quicksand. The more you lean into them, the deeper you sink, and before you know it, you're drowning in a reputation as someone who's unreliable, someone who's not in control. I learned this the hard way. I remember showing up late to a team meeting, tossing out my usual "traffic was brutal" line, and my colleague just looked at me and said, "Why didn't you leave earlier?" Ouch. That stung like a slap across the face, but it woke me up. I was the problem, not the traffic, not the world. I was letting myself off the hook, and every excuse I made was a brick in the wall between me and the respect I wanted. Let's get deeper, because this isn't just about being late or missing deadlines. Excuses are a mindset, a way of living, that keeps you chained to a victim's mentality. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, would tell you that you can't control the traffic, the weather, or your coworker dropping the ball. But you can control how you respond. You can control whether you leave 20 minutes early, double-check your work, or plan for the unexpected. Excuses are you saying, "I'm not responsible for my life." And if you don't believe you're in control, why should anyone else? I used to think my reasons made me look responsible, like I was just explaining the chaos of life. But in reality, they made me look weak. They told the world I was at the mercy of circumstances, not the master of them. The Stoics teach us that true strength lies in owning your choices, even when things go wrong. When you mess up, don't hide behind a story. Say, "I screwed up, I'll do better." That's power. That's what makes people sit up and take notice. I started doing this, owning my mistakes, no deflections, no stories, and something shifted. My boss started trusting me with bigger projects. My friends started relying on me again. Even I started respecting myself more, because I wasn't lying to myself anymore. Let's make this real for you. Think about the last time you made an excuse. Maybe you didn't hit the gym because you were too tired. Maybe you missed a deadline because life got in the way. Now ask yourself, what did that excuse cost you? Did it make you feel better, or did it just keep you stuck? Here's a practical step you can take today, straight from the Stoic playbook. Start a no-excuse journal. Every night, write down one moment where you caught yourself making an excuse. Then, write what you could have done differently. Didn't. Leave early enough for that meeting. Plan to leave 30 minutes early tomorrow. Missed a workout? Schedule it first thing in the morning before life can interfere. This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. The Stoics believed in small, deliberate actions that compound over time. One less excuse today means one more step toward respect tomorrow. And here's the beautiful part. When you stop making excuses, you're not just earning respect from others. You're proving to yourself that you're capable, that you're in control. That's the kind of inner strength that radiates outward. The kind that makes people look at you and think, that's someone I can trust. So, what's it going to be? Are you going to keep blaming the traffic, the weather, the universe? Or are you going to take the wheel and start steering your life? The choice is yours, but know this. Every excuse you let go of is a step toward becoming the person others can't help but respect. Stay with me, because next we're diving into another habit that's quietly sabotaging your respect: laziness. It's a tough one, and I've got a story that'll hit home. Let's keep the momentum going, because if you thought excuses were a respect killer, wait until we talk about laziness. This one's a heavy hitter, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If you're coasting through life, doing the bare minimum, nobody's going to respect you, and honestly, they shouldn't. Welcome back to ZENLIGHT, where we're tearing down the habits that hold you back and building you up with the wisdom of Stoicism and the grit of self-improvement. Laziness isn't just about skipping the gym or leaving dishes in the sink. It's a mindset that says comfort is king, that you'd rather stay small than push through discomfort to grow. I've been there, and I'm going to share a story that still stings, because it taught me a lesson I'll never forget. By the time we're done, you'll have a clear path to kick laziness to the curb and start earning the respect you deserve, not just from others, but from yourself. I used to think I could skate by on talent alone. Back in my early 20s, I was the guy who could ace a test with zero prep, charm my way through a presentation with minimal effort, and still get decent results. I thought I was smart, efficient even, because I could get away with doing less. But here's the truth that hit me like a punch to the gut. Potential doesn't mean a damn thing if you don't back it up with effort. I learned this during a group project at work, one of those high-stakes assignments that could have been a game changer for my career. My team was all in, late nights, brainstorming sessions, pouring their hearts into it. Me? I showed up, tossed in a few ideas, and figured my charm and quick thinking would carry me. When we presented, the project was a hit, but the looks on my teammates' faces said it all. They knew I hadn't pulled my weight. The subtle disappointment, the way they stopped including me in the next big project, it was a wake-up call. I wasn't just letting them down, I was letting myself down. Laziness didn't make me clever, it made me irrelevant. Here's where the Stoics come in, because they had no patience for laziness. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "You have to put in the work to live a life worth living." It's not about talent or intelligence, it's about showing up day after day, even when you don't feel like it. Laziness is a choice, a surrender to comfort over growth. And the worst part, it's contagious. When you slack off, others notice. They stop expecting anything from you. They stop trusting you with responsibilities. And that's the death of respect right there. I saw it in my own life. After that project, my boss stopped giving me the big assignments. My colleagues didn't ask for my input. I'd become the guy who was capable, but not reliable. It wasn't until I started showing up, really showing up, that things changed. I started putting in the hours, tackling the hard tasks, and pushing through the discomfort. And you know what? People noticed. They started trusting me again, not because I was the smartest guy in the room, but because I was the one who showed up and got it done. Let's go deeper, because laziness isn't just about skipping work or procrastinating on your goals. It's a betrayal of your own potential. Every time you choose to hit snooze instead of hitting the gym, every time you scroll through your phone instead of tackling that project, you're telling yourself that you're not worth the effort. And if you don't believe in your own worth, why should anyone else? The Stoics believed that life is a series of choices, and each choice is a chance to shape who you are. When you choose laziness, you're choosing to stay small, to let your dreams gather dust. But when you choose effort, even in the smallest moments, like making your bed or finishing that email before lunch, you're building a foundation of discipline that others can't ignore. I started small, committing to 10 push-ups every morning, no matter what. It wasn't about the push-ups, it was about proving to myself that I could show up. Over time, those small wins stacked up. I went from being the guy who coasted to the guy who delivered, and the respect followed. Here's how you can start today. Take one area of your life where you've been slacking. Maybe it's your fitness, your side hustle, or even your relationships. Pick one task, no matter how small, and commit to doing it every day for a week. Want to get in shape? Do 10 minutes of exercise daily. Want to grow your career? Spend 15 minutes learning a new skill. The Stoics called this acting in accordance with reason, choosing the hard path because it leads to a better you. Track your progress in a journal, and at the end of the week, ask yourself, how do I feel? Chances are, you'll feel stronger, more in control, and you'll start to see others treating you differently. That's the power of action over inertia. Laziness tells the world you're not serious. Effort tells them you're unstoppable. So, what's it going to take for you to stop coasting, to stop settling for good enough, and start chasing great? The respect you want is waiting, but you've got to earn it. One deliberate, disciplined step at a time. Stay with me, because next we're tackling a habit that's just as sneaky but hits even harder: neglecting your personal appearance. It's more than skin deep, and I've got a story that'll make you rethink how you show up in the world. Let's keep digging into the habits that shape how the world sees you, because this next one is a game changer you might not expect. Welcome back to ZENLIGHT 8, where we're breaking down the barriers to respect with the wisdom of Stoicism and the practical tools of self-improvement. Today, we're talking about something most people don't want to hear: neglecting your personal appearance. You might think it's superficial, that people should judge you for who you are, not how you look. But here's the raw truth. How you present yourself is a mirror of how much you respect yourself. And if you don't respect yourself, don't expect anyone else to. I learned this lesson the hard way, and I'm going to share a moment that changed how I show up in the world. By the end of this, you'll see why your appearance is a powerful tool for commanding respect, and how to use it to transform your life. I used to think appearance didn't matter. In my early days, I'd roll out of bed, throw on whatever was clean, usually some wrinkled t-shirt and jeans, and head out the door. I told myself I was being authentic, that I didn't need to dress up to prove my worth. But then came a day that flipped my perspective. I was invited to a networking event, a big deal with industry leaders who could open doors for my career. I showed up in my usual whatever outfit, hair a mess, looking like I'd just stumbled out of a dorm room. The moment I walked in, I felt it. The way people's eyes skimmed over me, the way conversations seemed to stall. I wasn't taken seriously, and it wasn't because of what I said or didn't say. It was because I looked like I didn't care. Meanwhile, others in the room, dressed sharply, standing tall, commanded attention without saying a word. That night, I realized something the Stoics have known for centuries. Your outward appearance is a reflection of your inner discipline. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do everything as if it were the last thing you were doing in your life." If you're showing up half-hearted in your appearance, you're telling the world you're half-hearted about yourself. Let's get real. This isn't about vanity or chasing Instagram perfection. It's about self-respect. Your appearance is the first story you tell the world, before you even open your mouth. When you walk into a room looking disheveled, you're saying, "I don't value myself enough to put in the effort." And people pick up on that instantly. Studies show that 93% of first impressions are based on nonverbal cues. Your posture, your grooming, your clothes. That's not shallow. It's human nature. I started paying attention to this after that networking disaster. I began dressing with intention. Clean, well-fitted clothes, a quick check in the mirror to make sure my hair wasn't doing its own thing. Nothing fancy, just effort. And the change was immediate. People started listening when I spoke. They leaned in during meetings. I wasn't just another guy in the room. I was someone who looked like he had his act together. That's the power of showing up as your best self. The Stoics would tell you that self-discipline is the cornerstone of a good life, and your appearance is one of the easiest places to practice it. It's not about buying a $500 suit or spending hours in front of the mirror. It's about small, deliberate choices: ironing your shirt, brushing your teeth, standing up straight. These things signal to the world and to yourself that you take yourself seriously. I started a simple routine. Every morning I'd spend 10 minutes planning my outfit, making sure it was clean and intentional. I'd check my posture, my grooming, my attitude. It wasn't about looking like a model. It was about looking like I cared. And here's the kicker. When you start respecting yourself this way, you feel different. You walk taller. You speak with more confidence. You start believing you're worth the respect you're seeking. And others, they follow your lead. Here's a practical step you can take today. Pick one aspect of your appearance to level up. Maybe it's wearing a collared shirt instead of a worn-out tee. Maybe it's spending 5 extra minutes to groom your hair or beard. Start small, but be consistent. The Stoics believed in controlling what you can, and your appearance is fully in your control. Try this for a week. Dress like you're meeting someone important every day, even if it's just your reflection in the mirror. Write down how it feels, how others respond. You'll be amazed at the shift, not just in how people treat you, but in how you treat yourself. This isn't about superficiality. It's about signaling to the world that you're someone who values themselves. And when you value yourself, others will too. So, what's the story you're telling with your appearance? Are you showing up as someone who's in control? Someone who's ready to seize the day? Or are you letting laziness or neglect speak? For you, the choice is yours, but choose wisely, because the world is watching. Stay with me, because next we're tackling a habit that can break relationships faster than you can blink: ignoring boundaries. It's a big one, and I've got a story that'll make you rethink how you respect others. We're diving deeper into the habits that shape how others see you, and this next one is a silent trust destroyer. Welcome back to ZENLIGHT, where we're using Stoic wisdom and self-improvement to build a life that commands respect. Today we're talking about ignoring boundaries, a habit that can make people pull away from you faster than you can say, "I was just trying to help." Boundaries aren't just lines in the sand. They're the foundation of healthy relationships. When you cross them, you're not just annoying someone, you're telling them their comfort, their space, their autonomy doesn't matter. I learned this lesson through a painful moment with a friend, and it changed how I show up in relationships. By the time we're done, you'll see why respecting boundaries is a cornerstone of respect, and how to start honoring them in your life today. I used to think being there for someone meant being all in all the time. I'd call my friend Sarah every day, text her about every little thing, offer advice she didn't ask for. I thought I was being supportive, a good friend. But one day she sat me down and said, "I need space. You're overwhelming me." It felt like a punch to the chest. I wasn't helping, I was suffocating her. I'd been ignoring her boundaries, assuming my enthusiasm was welcome, and it cost me her trust. The Stoics, like Seneca, teach us that true respect means honoring others as individuals with their own needs, not as extensions of our own desires. Ignoring boundaries isn't just about being pushy. It's a failure to see people as they are. It's saying, "My needs matter more than yours." And let me tell you, nothing kills respect faster than that. Boundaries are about more than just saying no or needing space. They're about recognizing that every person has a right to their own mental, emotional, and physical territory. When you push past those limits, whether it's bombarding someone with texts, offering unsolicited advice, or prying into their personal life, you're sending a message that their comfort isn't your priority. I saw this play out at work too. I had a colleague who liked to work solo, head down, focused. I'd keep swinging by his desk, asking for updates, thinking I was being collaborative. Turns out I was disrupting his flow, crossing a boundary he'd set with his work style. He stopped trusting me to respect his process, and our working relationship suffered. The Stoics would say this is a failure of self-control. You're letting your impulses override someone else's needs. And when you do that, you lose their respect, because respect is built on mutual understanding. Here's where it gets deeper. Respecting boundaries isn't just about others. It's about you. It's about practicing the Stoic virtue of temperance, knowing when to step back and let others breathe. When you honor someone's boundaries, you're showing that you're secure enough to let them be themselves. You're saying, I value you as you are, not as I want you to be. That's powerful. After my wake-up call with Sarah, I started paying attention. I listened when people set limits, whether it was a friend saying, I need some time alone, or a coworker asking for fewer check-ins. I stopped taking it personally and started seeing boundaries as a gift, a way to build stronger, healthier connections. And you know what? People started trusting me more. They opened up more because they knew I'd respect their space. That's the paradox. When you give people room to be themselves, they're more likely to let you in. Here's a practical way to start today. Pay attention to the signals people send. If someone's pulling back, not responding as much, or setting a clear limit, don't push. Ask yourself, am I honoring their space? If you're not sure, ask them directly, hey, am I overstepping here? Let me know what works for you. It's a small act of humility that goes a long way. Try this for a week. Keep a mental note of moments where you respect someone's boundaries, whether it's giving a friend space or not prying into a coworker's personal life. Write down how it feels, how they respond. You'll start to see relationships deepen, trust grow, and respect flow both ways. The Stoics believed that living well means living in harmony with others, and boundaries are the key to that harmony. So, are you ready to start respecting the lines others draw? To show the world you're someone who values trust and connection? It's not always easy, but it's worth it. Stay with me, because next we're tackling a habit that's a straight-up betrayal of trust. Taking credit for others' work. It's a tough one, and I've got a story that'll make you rethink how you share the spotlight. We're closing out this journey with a habit that can destroy trust faster than almost anything else. Welcome back to ZENLIGHT, where we're breaking down the barriers to respect with the raw wisdom of Stoicism and the practical tools of self-improvement. Today, we're talking about taking credit for others' work, a shortcut to success that's anything but. It's a habit that screams insecurity, not strength, and it can cost you the respect of everyone around you. I've made this mistake myself, and it's a lesson I'll never forget. By the time we're done, you'll see why giving credit where it's due isn't just the right thing to do, it's the key to building a reputation that lasts. Let's dive in and get real about integrity. Early in my career, I was hungry to stand out. I was part of a team working on a big project, and one of my colleagues, Lisa, was the real MVP. She put in late nights, crunched the numbers, and came up with ideas that carried us to the finish line. When it came time to present, I saw my chance. I didn't lie outright, but I framed my words to make it sound like I'd done the heavy lifting. The praise rolled in, and for a moment, I felt on top of the world. But here's the thing, the truth always comes out. Lisa knew what I'd done, and soon enough others did too. The admiration I'd soaked up turned to whispers of distrust. I'd traded short-term glory for long-term respect, and it was a terrible deal. The Stoics, like Seneca, would say this is a failure of justice, one of their core virtues. Taking credit for someone else's work isn't just dishonest, it's a betrayal of the trust that binds us together. Let's go deeper, because this isn't just about stealing someone's thunder, it's about what it says about you. When you take credit for work that's not yours, you're admitting to yourself and the world that you don't believe in your own abilities. You're saying, I need to borrow someone else's success to feel good about myself. That's not strength, it's fragility. The Stoics teach us that true success comes from living with integrity, from knowing that your achievements are yours, earned through your own sweat and effort. I had to learn this the hard way. After that project, I made a promise to myself. Never again. I started giving credit where it was due, even if it meant shining the spotlight on someone else. And you know what? It didn't dim my light, it made it brighter. People started seeing me as a leader, someone who was secure enough to lift others up. That's the kind of respect that lasts, the kind that builds trust and loyalty. This habit shows up everywhere, not just at work. Maybe you've taken credit for a group effort with friends, or claimed an idea that wasn't yours in a family project. It feels good in the moment, but it's like building a house on sand. It won't hold. Studies show that workplaces where credit is shared fairly have 20% higher team performance because trust fuels collaboration. When you give credit, you're not just being fair, you're creating an environment where everyone thrives, including you. I started doing this intentionally, calling out my colleagues' contributions in meetings, thanking my friends for their ideas, even if it meant less attention on me. The result? People wanted to work with me. They trusted me. They respected me, not because I was the loudest in the room, but because I was the one who played fair. Here's how you can start today. Make it a habit to give credit where it's due. The next time you're in a group project, take a moment to acknowledge someone else's contribution. Say, "Hey, this idea came from Sarah. She killed it." Or write a quick note to thank a colleague for their hard work. Try this for a week. Keep a journal of moments where you shared credit and note how it feels. You'll find that giving credit doesn't take away from your success, it amplifies it. The Stoics believed that living justly means treating others as you'd want to be treated. When you honor someone's work, you're building a reputation as someone who's confident, fair, and worthy of respect. And that's the kind of person people want to follow. So, what kind of legacy do you want to leave? One built on borrowed glory, or one rooted in integrity? The choice is yours, but choose the path that aligns with who you want to be. We've covered a lot today. 5 habits that can make or break your respect. Let's wrap this up with some final thoughts on how to put this all into action and live a life that commands respect, starting right now. Here's the truth. Respect isn't something you chase. It's something you build, brick by brick, through the choices you make every day. Stop making excuses and own your mistakes with courage. Stop being lazy and show up with effort, even when it's hard. Stop neglecting your appearance and present yourself as someone who values themselves. Stop ignoring boundaries and honor the space others need. And stop taking credit for others' work. Lift them up and you'll rise together. These aren't just habits to break. They're opportunities to practice the Stoic virtues of courage, discipline, temperance, and justice. Start small. Pick one habit to work on this week. Maybe it's leaving 15 minutes early to avoid excuses, or spending 5 extra minutes on your appearance. Track your progress, reflect on how it feels, and watch how the world starts to shift around you. You're not just earning respect, you're becoming someone you can be proud of. If this resonated with you, hit that subscribe button on ZENLIGHT 8. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it, and drop a comment below. Which habit are you going to tackle first? Let's build a community of people who choose growth over comfort, respect over excuses. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll dive even deeper into living a life worth respecting. Stay strong, stay stoic, and keep showing up.